Well, this is certainly a day unlike any other now, is it? If you didn't already know this, I've been making a video every day since January 1st, 2018. It is now December 31st, 2024. That means I've been making videos for 7 years. Tomorrow begins year number 8. Before I get ahead of myself, happy Tuesday, everyone. And it's not only the final Tuesday of December 2024, it's not only the final Tuesday of 2024 as a whole, it's the last day of 2024 as a whole. I mean, holy cow. I can't believe I already made it here. We made it here. I shouldn't say I, it's we. We all made it here. I guess if I had anything that constitutes a low is, yesterday I really was feeling just exhausted the entire day. I was sleepy all day because I didn't get much sleep the night before. I got a better night's sleep last night though. So that's good. My high is, I did get to see my parents yesterday. That was always good. But most importantly, I'm just riding the high that was my birthday a couple of days ago. I told you guys I'd ride the high into the new year. And so that's what I'm doing. And my act of kindness was, usually whenever I visit my parents and I actually make it to their house before they do, I'll do stuff for them. And this time of year, because listen, it's only December 31st. There's no shame in having your Christmas lights up a couple days after Christmas. So I turn on the lights for them. And it's actually quite festive. It is. But, yeah. So, normally at the end of every month, I talk about said month in retrospective, but I can't simply just do it for, an entire month. I gotta do it for an entire year. So this is a very unique situation, but also rather not nerve-wracking, but different. Because I need to look back on quite literally this whole year and go over, what happened. Before I do that though, how about the San Francisco 49ers? They literally gave the Lions all they could handle. But I did pick the Lions to win, and they won. So that makes my whatever this is, 12-14, which in turn, let's see, 76 plus 4 equals 80. 12 plus 162 is 174. I am now 174-80 when it comes to guessing NFL picks correctly. Okay. Now let me double save this real quickly, because that's just what you do. Alright. Save once. Save twice. And now, to go over what happened in 2024. First of all, it's rather difficult for me to talk about the good without first going over the bad. And I always tend to go over the bad first, because if I did the good first, then I really would feel rather melancholy after the fact, because I would talk about the bad. And like for others that I know of, this year was by no means perfect. Full disclosure, every even-numbered year that I've lived through since 2012 really hasn't been very good. 2012 was the last good even-numbered year I've had. And something really always did go wrong each and every even-numbered year to outright ruin it. In 2014, I actually lost 2 jobs at Robert Packer Hospital because my mom signed me up for a phlebotomy course I didn't want to do. In 2016, everything revolved around my brother's wedding, including the mother of the groom outright making it all about her rather than the bride and groom in question. And yes, I'm referring to the fact my mom ruined my brother's wedding. In 2018, I had to go get treatment in Denver for a weight issue because I was too skinny. 2020, the pandemic happens. 2022, I pretty much let heartbreak dictate everything in regards to how I was feeling. So yeah, something bad or something serious always happened in every even-numbered year. I wish I could say that 2024 was different, but as I alluded to earlier, 2024 was by no means a perfect year. For starters, on Valentine's, 34 years. And it took 34 years for me to finally break down and cry because I was a single loser on Valentine's Day, among other things. And normally I never really let it get to me, but I mean, I really could explain why, but the last time I did, I got in trouble for it, so I'll just leave it as, 34 years, and it's the first time I ever thought I really was a loser on Valentine's Day. And sadly, it looks like 2025 really isn't going to be any different. But I'll definitely be able to handle it with much more grace than this past Valentine's Day. So that's a good thing. My Facebook account got hacked. I had to start a whole new one. Which, truly, even now, having been over, July, August, October, even 5 months after the fact, it still bothers me. Because there are people I was friends with on my previous account, but it's not letting me friend other people, like those same people again. Like, for some people, if I were to look on their profiles, it just says, like, message or following. Like, I'm following people, but I'm not friends with them. Which, I mean, I could walk up to some of those people and say, hey, listen, my Facebook got hacked. It's not letting me friend you. The friend request has to come on your end. I could do that. I could explain that, but it feels awkward to do. Like, it's almost as if I'm literally forcing someone to become my friend. I don't want to do that. even if I'm logically explaining what happened. But that's my burden to bear. And it sucks because there was one post I really wanted to do, and I was able to do it. Unfortunately, a lot of people I know didn't get a chance to see it because I hadn't friended them yet on my new account. So, that definitely sucked. However, and listen, it's easy for me to say that every family goes through their share of hardships. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten into arguments with my parents over this last year. But all of that paled in comparison to what happened back in April when my grandmother died. Every now and again, I definitely think about her. I was definitely thinking about her on my birthday, especially having gone to Libs, her favorite place in the world. She loved going to Libs even more than I did. And during the meal, towards the end, my dad commented that he was thinking about her too. I mean, it's his mom, of course he'd be thinking about her. But I was thinking about her the whole day, if we're being honest. I mean, not literally the whole day. I mean, it's the sort of thing where, like, it'd pop in my head, I'd think about it for X amount of time, it would, like, go away for a little bit, only to pop back in my head again. So, and that's actually been like that since she's passed. Not just on my birthday, but every so often. I mean, whenever people lose a loved one and they said they think about that person all the time. I mean, I do find, like, you can't think about that all the time. Eventually, you gotta think about something else. At least to take your mind off how bad you're feeling because of it. And that leads into the overall point of this year. I literally explained every bad thing that happened in 2024. And if you can believe it, this is the best even-numbered year I've had since 2012. Yes, a year where I realized how much of a loser I was on Valentine's Day, my Facebook account getting hacked, and my grandmother dying. This is the best even-numbered year I've had since 2012. And why is that? Because of everything else that happened. As I alluded to earlier, I really had to think long and hard and try to remember every great thing that happened this year. And it was a lot. In fact, I really had to do a lot of these things out of order because for every one thing I thought of another thing as well. For starters, I learned how to play scat. And that was a card game I never heard before, and, now I did. Because of the scat and skate dinners I was going to. Speaking of dinners, the two dinners I had at Rye. One back in January where they collaborated with Finger Lakes Distilling. And then the second dinner back in, was it October or November? Hold on. Yeah, I actually saved the menu even now. It was on November 23rd, where Rye Bar and Grill paid for collab with Le Beaujolais Nouveau, which which is wine. So it was a wine tasting dinner, which is wonderful. The Halloween Easter parties I had with the Blythe family. Speaking of the Blythe family, one of them had a baby recently. Earlier, I went to the gender reveal party for that baby, and I got it right. I went to my very first ugly sweater party at their neighbor's house. I had never been to an ugly sweater party before. It was awesome. I got to volunteer at a golf tournament for the Blythe family. Yeah, this is pretty much going to be a video thanking them for everything they've done. That's weird. Can't believe I had to golf. This is also the first year I went to a place called Sonny's. It was shortly after my grandmother died, and this couple I know, the Eastons, they actually invited me out for the night. I was having dinner at Nick's, and they saw me, and they offered to invite me to go to Sonny's, and I did. And it was just the pick-me-up I needed to take my mind off of, my grandmother having recently died. Eminem came back. The Death of Slim Shady. Which, why is that not up for Album of the Year? Like, I know Beyonce, Sabrina Carpenter, Ariana Grande, and everybody else that album's coming out, but come on, man. Eminem's the GOAT. And he came out with a new album. A very good album. Like, why are we ignoring this? I finally went to A Night to Glow. See, it was fun going to A Night to Glow this year, but for those of you who don't know, A Night to Glow is like a charity benefit that they have at the Horseheads Elks. And they had the first one in 2023. I missed it because whoever was in charge of promoting it really did not do a very good job of it. And what's sad is there was someone I know who I really wanted to see who was there, but I didn't get a chance to see her because I didn't go, because I had no idea the event was going on, because the person who was in charge of promoting it did not do a very good job. So this year I got to rectify that, and it was great. I mean, the person I wanted to see wasn't there, but you know what? I did get some closure at least, so that's nice. Actually, there's one other thing I gotta type in. Speaking of the Horseheads Elks, they had a benefit for, hold on. Hold on a second. Okay. So, earlier this year, there was a police officer named Mike Thecky who had gotten shot trying to stop some people from robbing the Target in Horseheads. And he was in pretty critical condition for a little while. But thankfully he's on the mend. And I actually went to several benefits for him, including the one at the Horseheads Elks they just recently had. So I got to help support a hero. That's awesome. It was during the summer I developed a new tradition where whenever we go back up to the lake, I'm gonna try and make it to at least one concert at the Point of the Bluff Vineyards. In 2023, I saw country music superstar Trey Atkins. Really, it was also to see a Claudia Hoyser who opened up for him, but I'll get to her in a second. This past summer, I finally got to see the Marshall Tucker Band at Point of the Bluff. And it was awesome. Speaking of bands, actually, you know what? Hold on. I actually saw several bands this year. I mentioned Claudia Hoiser. I saw her a couple times. Madeline Rose, I saw her a few times. Madeline Rose is a little bit more local, but she's really good. And another local band, Blue Eyed Soul. Saw Blue Eyed Soul a couple times this year. Blue Eyed Soul is great. So I got to see them. I saw a lot of really good movies. I saw Inside Out 2. I saw the Mean Girls musical in a theater, so that was a lot of fun. I saw Moana 2. I know a lot of people didn't really care for Moana 2. I love Moana 2. I don't care what anyone says. I mean, Moana 2 is good. It just, a lot of critics thought it was not as good as the first one. If I were to talk about a movie that I thought was the best I'd seen this year, I'd say it was Hitman with Glenn Powell. Man, I can't explain, but Glenn Powell has become one of my new favorite actors. So yeah, so if you haven't checked out Hitman, give it a watch. I highly recommend it. Back in March, there was a whiskey tasting going on over at the Illegal Tap House, which I really wasn't planning on going, but there was a raffle where, if you win the raffle, you got a free ticket to go. And I got the free ticket to go. In fact, hold on. I still have the ticket from way back in March. I actually could have gotten a free drink then, but I never used it. I wonder if it's still good. No. The point is, I got to go to the whiskey tasting. That was a lot of fun, too. Great way to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. It was actually a week before St. Patrick's Day, but it was still a lot of fun. Sadly, though, I can't really think about that without thinking about, because that was when my grandmother first got that stomach bug that ultimately did her in. Yeah, my grandma, here's the thing. It was a slow and steady process, but my grandmother's death began with having a stomach bug. And she just never recovered from that. In 2023, I got to go to Cheese Fest and Pumpkin Fest at Grist Iron Brewing Company. This year, I went again. And just like in 2023, it was a lot of fun to go. I went to Grist Iron Brewing Company for Cheese and Pumpkin Fest. Cheese Fest, Pumpkin Fest. Horseheads became Section 4 champions in football. In 26 years, they hadn't done it. It was my junior year when we went to the Section 4 final, and we lost. So I definitely know that strife better than most people. So, once again, to Horseheads football becoming Section 4 champions, congratulations. Now and forever, you are champions, and no one will ever take that away from you. I got to march in the holiday parade they have here in Elmira the day after Thanksgiving. Got dressed up as a Dalmatian, because I was part of the group of 101 Dalmatians. That was a lot of fun. All the birthdays and holidays I celebrated with friends and family alike. I mean, birthdays and holidays are almost a sure thing to be good. It's funny, my mom commented, in my family, we don't have any birthdays in January or June. Thankfully, since I became affiliated with the Blythe family, they have several birthdays in January and June. So, at least I'm celebrating one birthday a month. That's something to look forward to in 2025. I got back into watching wrestling again. Well, just watching. I wrote down got back into wrestling again, but really just watching it. Because a couple friends of mine have kids who are wrestling. And, man, it definitely brings me back. a couple weekends ago, I went to Sparkle in Corning and then back to SantaCon in Elmira. Unfortunately, it's so ridiculous that they have both of them occurring on the same day. Because like last year they didn't. But I was able to go to both. And it was a lot of fun going to both. So I'm glad I did. Now I gotta go into the big three. The three big things that... See, here's the thing. Everything I just said, like, that was all good. They were all good things that happened in 2024. In fact, for all of what I just said, I truly do believe the good vastly outweighs the bad. You know, the bad, like my grandmother dying and such. All of that, and I haven't even gotten to the best parts yet. With that, see, that's how good of a year 2024 was for me. I literally just explained everything good that's happened, but I'm not even done yet. I haven't gotten to the big, that's why I call them the big three. For starters, going back to Cuckoo Lake for the summer. See, I call them the big three because they're like the big things that were going to happen this year. And I dare say the tone of this year of how I would feel today on December 31st, 2024. Like my overall opinion of 2024 would have legitimately revolved around these three big things. And not only did all three of these things happen, not only did they meet my expectations, but they wildly exceeded them. So I mentioned Cuckoo Lake, that's the first one. Like going back to Cuckoo Lake every summer is always a sure thing, and much like in all of my life, it still brings me at ease every time I go. So there was definitely, whether I was up there for a weekend or literally on vacation with my family visiting from Ohio, got to spend the week with them. It was wonderful. Actually, on there we go. From Ohio, my immediate family. But before that week happened, I had to go back to Colorado. See, back in 2023, literally the Saturday before Memorial Day 2023, my grandmother, on my mother's side, had died. Her dying wish was to have her ashes scattered at Lake Dillon and the very top of a mountain called Shrine Pass, both in Colorado. Which, that's why I went back to Colorado for. I was able to do that. And after we went to Shrine Pass, at least my parents and I, my entire family went to go to Red Rocks to see the Tedeschi Trucks Band, which is a band that if you've never heard of or you haven't seen, I highly recommend you check them out. They're really great. And that's another thing I need to point out too. Like, another reason why I call them the big three, I'm getting to the last one in a second, is had 2024 had ended after these things happened, after these three things happened, and 2024 ends after them, after any one of them, I would have said 2024 was a good year. I mean, I did sort of allude to that after Colorado, and then immediately after for that week-long vacation I had up in Cuckoo Lake with my family, whether they were my immediate family or family visiting from Ohio. But nowhere did I feel it more than after I went back to Trinity Pond for my 15-year reunion. There are few places I've ever been to in my life that not only do I feel at ease, but I really do feel they truly define who I am. Cuckoo Lake is obviously a big one for me. But as I alluded to a couple weeks ago, Trinity Pong saved my life. Which is one of the reasons why I wear this ring. As well as the fact I'm promoting self. See, if I've said this before. Your ring on your right hand finger, a ring on your right ring finger is love, trust, and self-love, which I've been working on. But this ring I got from Trinity Pong. I've had this ring for over 16 years. Actually, 15 years. It'll be 16 in 2025. And yeah, actually speaking of jewelry, that's another thing I forgot to put on. I found this necklace too. Actually, hold on. So yeah, this chain. Actually, I should get a chain. Found my chain. That's what I should say. Found my chain. And yeah, I've got my two favorite accessories on me. I've been wearing them ever since. I found this on the ground on my family's property at Cuckoo Lake, so it's mine. I mean, listen, this happened back in June. It's been 6 months and no one's said they lost it. No, I'm not going to give it up because they've only had 6 months to say it was theirs. But going back to Trinity Pong, I keep telling myself it's going to be sooner than 5 years whenever I go, but sadly that's never the case anymore. Being back at Trinity Pong, being back home, was probably the most right I think I felt all year. That's not to say Cuckoo Lake didn't make me feel anything. That's not to say Colorado didn't make me feel anything. Colorado especially impressed me because, again, last time I was in Colorado, I had to get treatment for a weight issue. To be perfectly honest, I totally could have seen a scenario where I totally snapped at my entire family for sending me to Colorado for that reason. But I didn't. Again, Colorado, much like going back to Trinity Pong and Cuckoo Lake, wildly exceeded my expectations. So, if it's not abundantly clear at this point, the good of 2024 vastly outweighed the bad. I mean, frankly, if it seems as if I'm bragging in this video, I swear that's not my intention. Much like on my birthday, I want to point out that while this year truly was good, I really should take an opportunity to be very thankful. Feel blessed and privileged that everything that happened this year that was good happened. I know that for many of you, 2024 was not a good year. And believe me, if you really do feel that way, I feel your plight. And you have my sympathies. Because again, 2024, by no means perfect. I mean, I can definitely see a scenario where my grandmother dying just straight up ruins 2024 and nothing saves it. But I literally have a list right in front of me of all the good things that happened in 2024 that says otherwise. And for that, I am truly, truly blessed. It's hard for me to really think about what's going to happen in 2025, but I can definitely say that I'm feeling very confident in entering 2025 on a high note, barring some kind of major tragedy. the one thing I wish was happening but wasn't is I know that there are some New Year's Eve parties that are happening, but no one I know is actually going. And anyone I do know is having New Year's parties, but I haven't been invited yet. I probably won't be. But you know what? That's fine. Usually, the last couple of years, I've been doing a live vlog to enter, the new year. And that's, worst case scenario, that's what I'm going to wind up doing, and that's fine. I guess the only other annoying thing that's happened this year was, I'm 35 years old and I still have a girlfriend. But considering every other good thing that's happened this year, that's okay. Although, it's probably going to be Valentine's Day, I'm still going to be single again. Oh well. Worse things have happened. And I'm okay with that. I wouldn't say I'm okay with it, but again, a lot of good stuff happened this year. So I'm very comfortable saying 2024 was a pretty darn good year. Not perfect, but that's okay. I hope y'all liked this video, and if you did, feel free to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me on all forms of social media that I'm on. And just like for the last 7 years, I am very humbled I made this video. For all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. I'm hopefully have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Let's have a happy new year, everyone. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk or chat, I'm always going to be here to lend it, and I'll always be back. Oh, you know what? Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby. One last thing, the Why I'm Still Here series of videos. Why did I not mention it? Why I'm Still Here videos. There you go. That's another thing that was good this year. So, yeah. I'm feeling pretty darn happy right now. Let me double save this list. I need to save this list for posterity. Okay. Now, take care. And how about entering 2025? We all make some good choices. 607 all day, baby.